So, hi, recording. Awesome. So, welcome everyone to our team powwow. Thank you guys so much for showing up. I know we were just laughing before about it being the long weekend, and people are off doing crazy things, and maybe, they're not keeping in communication in the way they might have done otherwise. But you guys, you're showing up every single week, and I just wanted to, on behalf of Steve and I, just really honor you for your time, your commitments to showing up, and also your trust in what Steve and I are going to bring you as of service to you. So thank you for being here, and for you guys watching the recording as well. Good on you. You're going to hear everybody's shares tonight. As we know, we always love having these powwows on a Sunday. We have our big group call on a Monday night, but I just find these Sundays are so valuable because it gives us all space to voice our week and voice our declarations for going ahead. And, this week, I think coming off the back of the Hokey Pokey week and everybody being in massive action for them, from what we can see in the business this week has been very, very quiet. And at the same time being on the roads and inviting to events instead. But well done for you guys for just staying consistent, and something that Steve and I are really, really passionate about, really getting the word out there. And take this for yourself, and anything you learn on these calls, please pass it on. We pass the gift of Isagenix on. But if you take something away from a call, you get a learning, share it with someone else. Share it with someone who might not be brave enough to jump on these calls yet. Share it with somebody who's not on the call. Pick up the phone and talk to anyone about it, because whatever and I say this for not just the calls, not just on three-way calls, but at events. Everything you learn, you guys are all showing up as leaders now, right? You may not like that title. You can step into it and start to own it. I know you're all in the process of enrolling and bringing people on board and sharing Isagenix. So you're already taking that leadership space. And when you become a leader, you have to not just keep thinking about what am I taking away? What am I learning? But what can I give back? How can I take this ripple effect and have it roll onwards? So something, and I'd love you guys just have a little think about something this week that was great or not so great, whatever it was. And if you're watching the recording, you can pause it, have a good think about it. And obviously, we love a lot of involvement from everybody to really voice things about their week. But what was it? What was that thing that you really started to learn? Maybe about yourself, maybe about the way you connect, the way you send a message, the way you follow up, the way you share Isagenix. It could be anything. Share with us something from this week that you've just learned. And the reason I don't prepare anyone to come on these calls with this stuff is because I just want you to share what's there for you immediately, not to start racking your brains or cackle yourself. I'm not wanting any stress upon anyone. I just would love to hear what's been coming up for you this week. What have you learned, or what are you learning? And I've titled this one Taking Ownership, because we're going to take those things and we're going to flip the scenario like we always do and go, okay, well, this is what I'm projecting, but what am I taking back for myself? How am I taking ownership of this? So I'll start and share mine to get the ball rolling. And please keep listening instead of just racking your brains for what to say, because I know I was that person. So something I really learned for myself was, so as you guys know and have been inviting to, I've been traveling the South Island and putting on the road show, putting on the Best You Experience tour for the South Island, which was just such an exciting and brilliant thing, something I just desperately wanted to do. And it just came so well off the back of the Best You, the Super Saturday, Dunedin. And something that I realized for myself was that I can't just show up to these towns and expect that people are going to want to just have people there in front of me. I'm just being totally transparent here, and you guys might get something for yourselves from this as well when it comes to inviting to events or running a taster party or something. But to some degree, I thought that me showing up to host an event was just going to be enough for there to be loads and loads of guests, like people spilling out the rooms. I love to journal that kind of stuff, and that's awesome. but I learned something really, really huge for myself. And it was to expand getting on three-way calls outside of not just about Isagenix, but about events and getting people to the events, making sure that people felt in full ownership of their space. That I just learned so much for myself in my levels of leadership, where I'm at in my levels of leadership, of I could have done more, because I think we experience something, might not go the way we wanted it to go, but what can we learn from it, and what can we learn for ourselves? Because we can go through that place of projecting of he said, she said, this did, that didn't, blah, 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 blah. But none of that matters. It's only what we did. And that's what I was learning about myself the whole way. And so I was thinking on it, and I don't know if any of you guys saw my Instagram story at all, but I started speaking on it on there as well, about the power on the ripple effect. So, stupid of me to even think that the events would just have been a one-off road show anyway, and it was be all or end all. If there were people at the event or there people weren't at the event, it was never going to happen again. It was such a powerful seed sowing events. And I know you guys were inviting so much to those events, and I'm sharing this because I feel that this will resonate with almost every single person on this call. Like, you would have been inviting people and they didn't show up. You're inviting people and they didn't reply. Nadia, for example, she drove 5 and a bit hours to Christchurch for 5 guests that were going to be there, and none came. And we could go, you and your unintegrity to your word, and rah, 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 yeah. You bitches, which you might have said anyway, but no, we're recording. No, she didn't say that. I'm joking. But actually, how can we take that on? And I was the same, because by the time I got to the lead up to Christchurch, I was just going to absolute town. Heck, I was on Bumble, and I was going balls to the wall with inviting randoms that I'd never even met off of Bumble. But why didn't I do that from the beginning? And that was a massive learning for me. That was you go all in. Don't just decide I'm hosting an event, and because I'm showing up, it's just gonna all happen. Choose what you're doing and commit to it to a level of 100%, that you're in a situation where you're just going, you're going all in. Is this landing for some of you guys? Because I feel like I'm just like now. I love that. Thanks for the feedback. So yeah, what I've really taken away is that how much more I can always do, because I really feel that we can always go more. I did a really big fitness class the other morning, and when I had someone there really, really in my ear about 5 more seconds, dude, get to this bit, I could just give that little bit more. And that's where we really need to take ownership of, let's not expect anybody else to push us in those moments. Behind, doors closed, on your laptop, on your phone, sending voice messages when no one can see what you're doing. How are you going to push yourself to just go the whole hog? And at the same time, really honoring yourself. It's that fine balance, right, between learning and action, but also really acknowledging yourself for the actions that you've taken. What ripple effects, and for me, what ripple effects would have come from the roadshow, of being in front of people that maybe hadn't been brought together in such a way before, of being in front of team who may never have met me before. And I personally had so much value in meeting so many more people in the team who, like Venetia, for example. And Venetia, if you're watching this, like, it was just so beautiful to be able to go to Venetia's house and meet her children, meet her husband, and have a connection with more people in the team that I wouldn't have gotten if I'd just flown down for Super Saturday and gone home. And what was that seed that's been planted? What's it going to sprout to? And that we won't know. That just gets to fruition itself and gets to choose itself, right? But yeah, I've had so many discoverings and learnings in the last week, really. So I wanted to share those with you guys, because if I hadn't taken ownership, I also reflected on this, had a lot of time in the car, a lot of reflection time. I'd also reflected on it. If I hadn't taken ownership of those areas, I could have projected and then not continue, you know, maybe thought, oh, nah, that wasn't as successful as I thought it was going to be. I won't do it again. And that's, the seeds have been sown, and there's so much that will come of it all. You know, you can just make stories and put things into places that have still got their moment. They just haven't had their moment to really grow and show themselves. So that's where the consistency in this business truly, truly lies. And it's trusting yourself. If you feel called to do it and stay consistent with it. So yeah, really wanted to share that with everybody. Steve, did you want to share?
Yeah, of course. I'm talking about consistency.
Can you hear me all right with that mic?
Awesome. Talking about consistency, one of the things I've learned this week is that when I'm talking to somebody in Isagenix about Isagenix, the amount of posture I have, the eye connection, the confidence, the way I speak, is I just feel like I'm talking to myself in the mirror, right? Essentially, you know, there's no hesitation. Yeah, if I'm talking to somebody that doesn't not see Isagenix the way I see it, or the way the person I'm talking to sees it, I automatically change and start looking around, not communicating the same way, and I'm essentially judging that person already, and I'm basically assuming that what I'm saying isn't going anywhere. And that whole element of body language is I've learned is being recognized by people I'm speaking to, that new people that I'm speaking to that haven't been to an event, haven't seen Isagenix in the way what it really is. They're seeing a different posture, and they're not seeing the posture that I know I've got, you know, that I do have. But because of this fear that I've got, that I'm assuming that I'm talking crap, you know, I'm not enough of what I'm saying, they're judging me. As a result, I'm talking crap. And as a result, people aren't going to get inspired. You know, if you think about, like, when you listen to podcasts and you read books, you get so inspired by the way people speak because they've got so much certainty. They've got so much posture around who they are as people and what they've learned and what they're creating. You go, wow, yeah, I feel it. The fire. Imagine if I'm talking to these people and I've got like this weak communication. I'm not certain. I don't have posture. Imagine what they're going to get from that. Oh God, that was a waste of time talking to that, but he obviously doesn't believe in it. And it was so interesting. I was having a meeting. I was out for a coffee. Give you an example. I was out of coffee with the owner of a gym in Auckland. It's very well known. People in Auckland know who he is. And there was a guy who we brought out that's a famous New Zealand guy who's on Instagram. He's in shows and stuff. I actually didn't know who he was. Probably you Kiwis would know if I showed you a photo of him. I don't know. But anyway, and I just felt, I left the meeting, I go, I'm never going to speak like that again. I thought I wasn't good enough being in that meeting because I was in front of these two people. And it was a massive learning for me. From going forward, I'm going to talk the same I talk to you guys about Isagenix. It's the same as what I talk to people that don't know about Isagenix. And I'd rather them either get it and get it the way they should get it. And if they don't get it, they were never going to get it. Rather than being weak, not being assertive, and they have no idea what is really about. So that's one of the things I've learned, is just being real, whether I'm talking to you, talking to Corinne, or talking to somebody new about Isagenix. I'm just going to be the same Steve regardless.
That's really freeing.
Yeah,
that's really freeing. Thanks, babe. Yeah, that's a really good one to reflect on, isn't it? Can anyone else relate to that? I can. Yeah. That's why we can come out of an event 10 foot tall and bulletproof, but it's continuing to surround ourselves in the Isagenix community, to continue that posture, to continue that flair, to continue the belief, the self-belief, because we know that everything else is a 10 out of 10 belief, the products, the compensation plan, the company, you know, and then you get to you, and that's where your belief levels start to drop, which is why, you know, spending time with David Wood next month is invaluable, absolutely invaluable for really hitting that on the head. And this will be our third UIA, and there's so much that we take away from it every single time, something totally brand new.
That'll be the third plus the good to great, so it'll be the fourth
training directly with him.
And I feel like you have to do it every year. You know, you do it once, it doesn't last a lifetime. you have to do it again. I'd say twice a year.
Personal development.
I did the Good to Great, and we did the Good to Great in June, which was a David Wood event. And I'm so ready for another one. And that's only 6 months. I feel sorry for people that take more than that. Don't do an event for 6 months. You'd really start to drop off your mindset. So every 6 months, I think, is like the minimum. This is from my experience.
That's why we get 4 core events a year.
Yeah, that's from my experience. Once every 6 months, like a personal development event, essentially. But let's ask another.
Yes. Who would love to share next? Jules. Thanks, babe. 2 hands up. Ready to go.
It's something that I've noticed with myself this week. So I did the communication course on the weekend, and it sort of flowed into this week. And it's things about what I realized about myself is that I think I've been going about my business like with the posture of trying to fix when somebody's interested in Isagenix, and it's like trying to find what I can fix for them. And it's like I don't need to fix that person. That's something that they need to figure out for themselves. But then to know that that's where I stand, or the point of view making them wrong because they don't get back to me, or they don't answer my texts, or whatever it is. Like, I've noticed that in personal stuff, but I think that flows into the business as well. So being able to identify that point of view I have about that other person has been quite powerful this week. And just that's helped me change my posture a little bit in the way that I'm talking to people. So that's just something that I've picked up.
That's so awesome, Jules. That's really awesome. So you're finding that when you're meeting someone and you're asking them all their why questions, you're then instead of thinking, oh, I have a solution I could offer, you're wanting to fix everything for them rather than helping them take the ownership.
Telling them what they should do and what they need to do.
How they can take the ownership.
Letting them tell you for themselves. I get you.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's
powerful.
Yeah.
That's so powerful and such a big reflection for everyone. Are you offering someone a solution for them to take the reins and control, or are you trying to rescue people and trying to get them through their 30 days?
Oh, I think for the last year, I've been trying to rescue people. So that's been, like even with my mum, for example, like I've had to be really hard with her and just say, Mum, like you need to do this for yourself, and here are the tools and how to do it. And I can't hold your hand and I can show you the way, but this is what you need to do for yourself, and try and be there for her and support her where I can, but also give her the tools and seeing how, like, all the mistakes that I've made up until now, and helping her to not make those mistakes. And she's been really thankful for that, but actually like not making her wrong for not doing it when I've asked her to as well. So
there's something really powerful about people making their own mistakes as well.
Yeah.
Which is literally like sounds really bad, but is the best. But when you're a rescuer, you don't want to let someone go through that. But like it's the best way for them to personally learn.
People have to feel the emotions of what they call a learning. I wouldn't say a mistake, but a learning that they can. People have to feel the emotions of it before they get to move forward and learn for next time. Because you're right, if someone tells you what you should be doing, then there's no emotion attachment to it, right? And as a result, they probably just do it over and over and over again. So true. It's funny because when you read a book, right, or when we're in a seminar, or when we listen to a podcast, we're not interrupting every sentence when the person's speaking, are we? We're just listening and taking what we get from it and choosing. Because I suppose whatever you say to people, they're going to make a decision for themselves anyway. Regardless of what comes out of your mouth, the person's already going to decide for themselves. It's how you make them feel, right? Then that's going to cause them to take action, not about what you say to them or what you ask them to do. Yeah, good point.
So good, Jules. And can I just ask?
Yeah.
How do I word this the most? What are you going to do to ensure that you stay in that learning, or what could you offer us as well? Because, when you're sharing, what I really acknowledge is that whilst you're sharing, that we're not listening to you from a place of, oh, Jules is learning this for herself. we're listening to you from a place of what can I take from this as well. And so how are you planning on ensuring that as you speak to people, what are you planning on doing differently, basically? How does that look on the court, in action? How does that look?
I think it's going, like for me, it's going in with no expectation as to how they're going to react or how they're going to take the information. And I was just talking with Tom earlier about that. It's like talking to them a little bit. And I know that I've done a lot of like the oversharing and the just like verbal diarrhea on everyone about Isagenix because I'm so passionate about it, but I need to learn to like take that back and just give a little bit. So for me, it's like not expecting that if they show a little bit of interest that they're going to be really interested in everything that I have to share or say. So it's like by not having that expectation, but just being able to share a little bit, that's definitely helped me to not get disappointed if they're not ready, because I took 2-3 years before I jumped on board. So it's like learning that patience as well.
Yes, that's so cool. So hearing them say something that they're looking for, e.g., I'm a bit tired, I could do some more energy, and being a bit trying to rescue them by, we've got these amazing solutions, they provided this for my energy, blah 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 blah, jump on this webinar, then we'll catch up. And they're just like, oh my God. Yeah.
Point before, and he said if you get a duplicated message from somebody and it doesn't sit right with you, how do your messages sound to other people? So that was really powerful in that, because there's times where, like we were talking before about Instagram, and like you show an interest in somebody's page and then you get this automated message that comes through and you're just like, no, it's not real. So it's like, how do you show up for other people in terms of how you're coming across? So it was
Love.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for that offering, Jules. Really appreciate it. Thank you. Who's up next? Who would love to share? Tom, thanks, babe.
Hey guys. So just off the back of what Julia was saying, this week I have been having like internal conflict with the sending out the text a few messages. It's not sitting right with me, and I had the realization why this week, because I was speaking to Julia earlier. And I've had some messages come in which are scripted, and from one of the people I met at UIA, so he knew I did Isagenix, and I got this message from him, this scripted message, and I was a bit like, whoa, come on, we met each other, we connected at UIA, but I took the high ground. I just said, hey, hope everything's going well, hope your team's building well. And he sent me a message back. He was like, oh, sorry, I didn't realize it was you. I was sending out so many messages. And in that moment, I just realized, wow, that's not relationship building. That's not connecting with anyone. And I've been listening to a lot of David Wood podcasts, and everyone has a bullshit meter. Everyone can detect the bullshit. So I think when I send out my duplicated messages, I think people are detecting my bullshit. So I listened to Eric Worre's Go Pro this week, and I realize now I have to build relationships. So I casually just shared with somebody at work. They were looking to get fit and healthy, so I'm meeting them face to face on Tuesday. And I want to do it more that way. I want to speak to people on the phone. That's the best way to do it.
That's perfect. I love that. Great share. So good, Tom. Well, I really just want to bring into that as well is that, the templates of the messages that are on the website. This is for everyone listening in now, or everyone on the webinar. They're watching the recording. I've got a webinar on the brain. That they're all very much a skeletal structure. And it's great you brought this up, Tom, because I'd had this conversation with Jules before as well, that, you know, it's a skeletal structure that we can duplicate to people who jump on board and say, what do I say? And there's a skeletal structure there for people to take and either recreate or make more them, or simply send it as is, whatever is the alignment for you, for them, whatever. But it gives you a very bare bones structure that you can then just take and run with. You know, Steve brought up Good to Great, the training we did with David Wood, right? He didn't just say, go up on the stage and you do you, boo. You know, he said, here's the steps to the stage, one word for each step, and bring yourself to each of those. Bring yourself to acknowledgements. Bring you to what's in it for the room. Bring you to acknowledging the next speaker up. So really, when it comes to the templates, take what you need and otherwise bring yourself. So I love that. I love that share, Tom. There's so much value from that for everyone to hear. You know, if those messages don't feel congruent, change your message.
Yeah. And I'll just say, when you meet up with this person as well, just really think before you meet them, like, I want to speak from my heart here. You know, speak from your heart, and, you know, approach that person and just say, look, I have huge vision to create the most incredible culture and community around this profession. And I want to find like-minded people that really want to work with me. I don't really want to work with people that are only 40% in. And I see you as a person that's always 100% in, you know, and if you're not 100% in, that's cool. I just ask you if you just be authentic with me and tell me, just so I don't, you know, chew your ear off and maybe don't overwhelm you. But if you are 100% in, I really, really want to work with you and take this freaking to the next level. And
I think what's really powerful in that, and what you're saying there, Steve, is that it's the same as when we're opening a call. It's the same as when we're opening a presentation. We start by wanting to know from the room or the person, what are they looking for? And then share with them, what is it for them? Or, you know, what are they willing, where are they at? What transform, you know, how committed are they to what they declare that they want? Before we start going into the how, what's and whys of Isagenix, which might be a whole nother meetup. But it's always first with relationship, connection, building someone to know, like, and trust you as you then are getting into that. So yeah, really boom, Tom. Let us know how your meetup goes.
Does that make sense, Tom, though? Does that kind of give you something to work around, something to think about?
Yeah, I know I have to share from the heart, and that's what people resonate with.
Yeah.
So I don't know why I try and do differently sometimes. I don't know why I try and go around the houses and not share from the heart. Because that's how I would want to be shared too.
Yeah.
I think it just comes down to your own personal, you know, like you as an individual. You know, you might be thinking, oh, you know, am I enough? You know, all that kind of internal stuff, like you said, internal conflict. And it's about having that belief in who you are, yourself, and that's obviously where the personal development is really important. Yeah.
So powerful. Thanks for sharing, mate. Tom. Great learning. Kendra, oh no, Jules was saying that she made it weird for so long. Didn't we all? But that's perfect. You had to go through that learning. You have to go through that experience. So, you know, like as well, when it comes to sending out messages, send out, you know, you have to go through a blitz week of sending out messages to, say, 30 people, and then going, okay, how did that land? What was the response rate back? You do it in any other business. Why wouldn't you do it with this? You know, if you're just sending out the same message over and over and over and over and over and over and over, and it's been 4 months and you're still not getting any further ahead with them, change it, review it, reflect on it, change it, do something different. And I'm going to use Jules as an example again. You know, you reached out to like something like 40 or 50 people in the last Blitz week, right? And you were sending out text and text and text, and you found that the response rate was just so much higher when you voice messaged, because that is what was congruent for Julia. voice messaging and picking up the phone and making a call, which I am always screaming from the rooftops anyway. Pick up the phone. We're just going to sit behind our laptops and just send out messages, voice notes, and then just switch it. Get on the phone, pick up the phone and talk to people. Talk to them, because again, that seed sown, when someone can hear your voice, they can hear your genuine share of Isagenix and why you thought of them. That's going to land and impact a gazillion times more than a text message. Same goes with inviting to events. I've been on the phone all week making calls, all week standing for people to be at UIA and to be at events, whatever they were, whether that was Super Saturday Dunedin, whether that was the roadshow, whether that was upcoming UIA, because I genuinely care. And I want to share a story before this call's out, and I'll just see. In fact, this might even be just a really great time to bring it up, to be honest. But we're here at Josh and Sarah's place in Taupo, and Bryce and Bridie McKenzie have come along to join us for some food. I think everybody knows Bryce and Bridie, and if you don't, they're in Pathway to Success. They're part of the team, so you can see them. So Bryce and Bridie came to UIA last year with barely any money in the bank, barely any money, and they personally, as a young newlywed couple, they had $30,000 of debt, not including their mortgage, and barely any money in the bank. And they came to UIA, and we're all, I feel really emotional sharing this because I was just so in the impact of what she shared with me just before. We've got UIA in 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks time. And this week, they just paid off the last of that 30 grand debt this week. All from Isagenix. All from Isagenix. And she knows, they know full well that if they hadn't have gone to UIA, they'd still be in that debt. They still would, because there's something shifts inside of you when you go to this event. And yeah, it gives me shivers as well, Donna, because why do people not come to events? Because of how much it costs to get there. But when we hear a story like that, when you hear in 1 year a young newlywed couple can pay off 30,000 New Zealand dollars of debt between like 2-3 weeks before an entire year, that is huge. That is a huge amount of money to be able to put together when most of the time we can't see the wood for the trees when it comes to saving money to pay off debt. You feel like you're making the minimum payment every single month, if that sometimes, right? Absolutely huge. And that's why I've been so committed to being on that phone sharing. This is what this event is about. That is what this event is about. And I was actually going to share that for the end of the call, but I just really felt that this was the time to actually share that, because, you know, that's, if not you, it could be someone you know. If not you, who else do you know that needs to hear something like that? You know, Rachel and I have been traveling together in the car this week, and we've literally been taking it in turns to make our calls because, you know, we both love to passionately share about UIA. And she was on the phone to someone in her team who is really, really struggling to get there. She has to book a flight to actually make it. And I honour all of you guys that have to do that, but you know that you're always cared for when you get here. And we can make it happen because we can get PIBs to pay for flights. So bring it on. You can get a free ticket as well for the next something like 10 days from me and Steve. And yeah, this girlie was sharing with Rachel how she is even struggling to buy nappies for her children right now. She is so broke. And that is the reason she needs to be at UIA. That's not the reason not to be there. It's the reason to be there. And, you know, you might not be able to relate to that personally. People on the recording might not be able to relate to that personally. You might be able to relate to that extremely personally. You might not be able to relate to that. You might not have debt. You might might not at all, and that's absolutely fine. But what is that thing that isn't shifting for you that you really want to shift? Because whatever it is, that's what you'll get by being at UIA. Guarantee you. And if you don't get it, I will literally give you your money for your ticket. If you haven't already won a ticket from me, I'll give myself the money. Literally, you can say, Corinne, that's not what I got from that event. You know, that's not what I got. And I'll go, okay, I'll take that and I'll give you the money for your ticket, because I just know so much what this event will do and what it will shift. And taking ownership of our businesses is showing up. Is showing up and just trusting yourself. Like Tom shared, it's trusting he knows how to send the message. You know how to share the goddamn message, Tom. Doesn't have to be the script. Same with Jules. Same with what she shared. Same with what Steve shared. Same with what I shared. Now we have to fall flat on our face to get back up and go for it again. I could have been told all of this. I probably have been told everything that I've learned. I've probably been told it before. You've probably been told before, Tom, to send a voice message or whatever. But we have to learn it for ourselves to truly hear it. I firmly believe this so much. The website could have it all laid out for you. The webinar could have it all laid out for you, but it's actually not what you hear when you hear it. It's what you learn and hear when you need to hear it. Even this call tonight might not land for you right now. And that's okay as well, because that's the journey of life, right? I could get very philosophical about that, but, you know, we really literally only hear things as we're ready to receive them. And that's why, you know, I think I even said it on last week's call or the week before, you know, we'll always be bringing up similar to the same stuff, because this business isn't complicated. It is about falling in love with the repetition and the beauty of repetition. That's where duplication happens. I would love to hear from more of you. You know, we've still got a good 20 minutes. If we're going to fill it, we can. Yeah, thanks, Nadia. Go for it, babe.
Oh wow, I love everything you've said so far. Like just that share about UIA, I'm just fizzing to go back again, and I just can't wait to see what happens this next year. But so just one thing that I've learned about myself, like lots of things over the weekend, the long drive to Christchurch, but lots of time to think and listen to the books, was just around building relationships with the people that I'm connecting with. So I've been in this almost a year and a half now. You know, I've enrolled a lot of people, but you know, the last few Blitz weeks, I've sent out lots of messages, I've done lots of follow up, but in between all of that, I haven't actually tried to maintain the relationship with these people at another level. So in the weekend, I just went back and was messaging lots of the girls and guys that I have messaged, like to try and get started on Isagenix, and just had actual genuine conversations with them. And I got so many replies from them. So now I've got just a stack of messages that I'm just excited about, that are not enrolling them right now, but I know that it's going to come so much more easier when I bring it up again, maybe in a few weeks time, because I would have just dug that little bit deeper about what they're doing. You know, someone's moved house, someone's living in their parents before they buy a new house. Like there's lots of things that are going on that I didn't know, because I just didn't take that time to dig a bit more. It was like, okay, cool, how's your day, and then leaving it. So it's just really that was just the first thing that came up. And actually I said that to Hisa when I got home. I said, that's what I've just been, the one thing that I was so excited about this weekend was just genuinely connecting with all these people that I've messaged just on another level. And I just think, yeah, I know that's the name of the game. You've got to build relationships, but it's just harder when you don't see them. You know, the ones that you see, you build, because you can meet them for coffees again, or you can invite them to a taster party, but it's the ones that live out of Dunedin. So sending voice messages and just having general chats, I just loved it. I know that I need to do that more, because, you know, I guess my warm network is probably absorbed now. So it's just relationships long term is, where I need to be. So it was really good.
That's amazing turnaround, you know. Amazing turnaround. Realized what you'd been doing and then how to shift it. And again, it was taking that ownership, Nads, hey, because, you know, we've done, you know, there's so many calls and so much out there about relationship business, building relationship, but it came to the point of time that you needed it and got it for yourself. Yes, such a powerful share. So good. Yeah, Donna, thank you. Thanks, Nadia.
Hi guys. Sorry I was a wee bit late jumping on tonight. I'm just in Herbert with one of my girls, which is really exciting because I haven't got to catch up with her. So yay, good times. No, I just wanted to say, like, for me, when I first started, I found it easy to talk about because I was excited about it. And then after more things that I've, when I've been talking in our group talks and listening to the podcast, and it was all about duplication. And so I got on my head that I couldn't share my way that plates, and then I need to do it my way because it just doesn't resonate with any of my friends. They know that it's not me talking. And one of my new girls got really upset the other day because I told her to go in and send a template out, and she's like, "But Donna, I'm not doing that shit." That's pretty much what she said to me. She said, I want to do it the way we did it when you talked to me on the phone, because for me the Resistance was so personal because I tend to I don't know, it definitely felt more of a relationship, and that's what I liked about it. I didn't like the fact that it was going to be just this big duplicated thing, and I get why duplication works, but you definitely have to put the personal touch into it, and I need to make sure I still put that out there. Like Blair's on the line tonight, which is awesome, and for him, like, the webinar and stuff's been working, and the the new website, and it's awesome, and I love that it's so easy. But
we've caught most of what you've said, Donna. We've caught the
into you.
Even on mute it's still going. Interesting.
Wow, that was delayed.
Robot Donna, absolutely. We caught most of what you said there, Donna, and I think I got the.
Sorry, am I going in and out of? I'm in Herbert.
Yeah, and it's the internet's being a bit of a Herbert as well. We caught the gist of what you were saying. I caught the gist of what you were saying, and I'm pretty certain you were talking about templates as well, and how to help people share from using a system, but also bringing their personal touch into it too. So, guys, like, what I'm really hearing and getting, and Donna's like frozen in a perspective as well. So good. She could. What's really important is that we're still showing the team the website, because that's the training site, the duplication site, but it's with our language. We could say this is an iPhone. We could show someone a phone. We could show someone an iPhone, and we could share with them, like, just the metal and the glass. But unless we show them the value in it, unless we show them why it's been established and why it's been created, people aren't going to connect to it in the same way. So even when we're showing them the templates, we're still saying, like, this is just like a bare bones structure for you to always know that if I'm not around, you can still have unlimited support through this structured system. But the best thing about this business is you can have the freedom of creativity to make it anything you want it to be. So this is a bare bones structure. If that resonates with you and something that you would say to your people, use it and fluffy it up with whatever you want. If it doesn't, just literally pick up the phone and call people and share your results. Just pick up the phone and call. How did when you were introduced to Isagenix, I want everyone to think about it. When you were introduced to Isagenix, it was more than likely from somebody that you knew and you liked and you trusted. And what did they say to you? Because when you're talking about connecting with somebody who is a close friend or a family member or a relative or in your warm network, sending them a templated scripted message is of course going to be ridiculous. But to build success in this business, your team are not going to just be made up of your warm network. Your warm network is going to make up about 5%, I should say. 5 to 10% maybe of your entire organization if you really want to build this to big residual income. Most people in your team, you're not going to know. So I'm just going to look at this screen right now with who's on. And before Isagenix, we knew Julia from boot camp, and of course Steve's mum and dad. And that's it. You know, like, it was because of Isagenix that we've met all of you guys. It's in already, you know, it sounds mean, but you guys are all a cold net. I didn't know anyone. You were all a cold network. And if we hadn't have had those templates or that structure to work from, we wouldn't be able to reach out and duplicate in such a way. But when we're working with our warm network and when people are sending out messages for the first time, just remember to add that little bit when you're educating them around the templates. I hope that helps. I hope that makes create some value for people around how to stay utilizing the template. Of course we're family now. Oh my gosh, 100%. It felt extremely weird saying cold network.
I like that. Look at how you got started. What was the reason behind it? And find people that like you that were going to respond the same way.
Because what resonates for you is going to resonate for your people. Your people are going to be who join you in this and partnership with you because of who you are. Seeing people flying by on the screen.
I don't think when Nadia started, there was never even a message. I think Nadia had to remind me to message her. It was all communication.
Don't tell them that.
Yeah, no, it was all communication. Didn't we? I remember I called you and then I said, I'm calling you at 1 p.m. Called you again. You ordered your system and then you reminded me. You said, you're going to send me any messages. So we didn't even talk via message.
I need to go in and see this girl drive into the city. So Blair, would you feel like open to sharing about how your week's been since Super Saturday and maybe some of what you've taken away? That'd be so epic. Do you know how to turn off the mute and all that on Zoom? I think you haven't been on Zoom before. Oh, yeah, there he is.
Yeah, there we go. So, so this week I've sort of taken away of talking to people just about my journey. But making it exciting when I'm telling them about my journey. So I get excited about it and then they're going, oh, wow, it's the whole, with meeting everybody, it's just that enthusiasm and excitement that's been in the room when I've been there meeting people, and it's contagious, so, and people get excited by that. So I've just been sharing my story and telling them all the wee things that I've discovered, even about the first time I got my first e-shot, and it was like a nightclub in my car when I was driving to my other job, and I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. And it's, just wee things like that, and people were going, what is this stuff? And I said, oh my God. And then it's the products themselves are really fantastic, and that's really great for you, and it can change people's lives. But the whole other side of the coin is you can make money from it as well, from having something that you like to do. So, and for me, it's a win-win. So it's easy to talk to people, but it's, making the templates your own, you've got to own them. So it's very regimented. If you send out a text message, scripted text message, for me doing sales for a lot of my life, that's just going to kill it. So you need to own it. Use the template the best you can and own it. And then it will sound like it's coming from you. And then you're starting to win. So, there's a lot of great tools there, and it's like a gift. You're just giving us all this stuff, and it's there. So you just have to own it. But,
Love it.
I had one guy that I signed up who happens to be a guy that I work for, and it fell over because the card didn't work out. And I was like, oh, and I felt quite dejected that when it didn't come through. And I was like, no, I'm not going to give up. So I gave it another shot. And it turns out that the credit card has rolled over and there's a new card issued. So it's not an issue with him not wanting to do it. It's just, but you've got to get away from that mindset of going, oh no, I've failed. Well, I haven't failed. We'll just make it work. So yeah, he'll get signed up. And got 2 other people that have been actively. I've been a bit sneaky. I carry the Ice of Delights with me, and it's like, oh, what are you doing? I'm doing this thing. And then I just plant a couple of wee seeds, and then I say, I'll try one of these. Let me know what you think. That's what I get to have, but don't tell anybody. And it's worked. So just got to make it your own.
That is probably the best thing that's been shared on this entire call. Carry Ice of Delights and replenish, and then give them out as you go.
You do, yeah.
That's
it works.
So good. And just try and get your name and number written on the product so that they know who to call.
That's it.
That's so epic. And that's so great to share, because we can get dejected so quickly because of something that was actually literally out of everybody's control and out of
Don't give up.
Don't give up. That's the one. Love
Thanks,
it, Blair.
Thank
you so much for sharing.
Thanks for sharing, yeah.
No, thank you.
Pleasure. One other little thing that I've learned about card payments and declining is the first thing is check your browser, because I don't know if it's just me and this Apple computer, but if I try and put an enrollment through in Safari and it declines, but I jump onto Steve's laptop of his Mitsubishi. No, that's a car.
Microsoft. Yeah.
A Mitsubishi. Do they do computers?
Toshiba.
I jump on his and go on to Explorer. Boom! It goes straight through. It might have declined twice on mine. So just a word to self: just try another web browser as well sometimes. So that's just another thing. We've got 5 minutes to go, but did anybody have something burning that they would love to share? Otherwise, we'll wrap it up.
Matt has got his hand up in the corner.
He's doing this. I'm not sure that's a hand up. Is your hand up, Matt?
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Thank you.
I'll just keep this quick because I know we've only got a couple of minutes left. But
take your time.
We've got 6 minutes, mate.
Take your time.
We've had a pretty good week. We went up to Landmark in the weekend, last weekend, and anyone that's done that knows what you get out of that. So basically, what I learned from that is that I've been into personal development for probably a couple of years now, and I'm getting to the point where I got to the point where I was just loading my brain with stuff and I wasn't doing anything with it. And it was kind of like I've listened to hundreds of podcasts, read numerous books, whatever, but nothing was actually being manifested into anything I was doing. So I was just filling my brain with all this stuff, but it was just clouding my brain, really. So it was quite good to go to Landmark and just clear it all out and I felt so much more present, and I've learned a lot about myself and how my brain works and how I think about things and how things in my past have affected how I tackle challenges and communicate with people and that sort of thing. So yeah, it's been quite a good week, just learning or getting better with connecting with people and actually listening to what they're saying and that kind of thing. And the other day I bloody hurt my back, which was a bit of a pain in the ass because I've been training pretty hard. So I've been getting over that as well, but I haven't let it get me down or anything. I've just got to get over it and get it right again and then get back into it. The other thing I wanted to share was, I don't know if it's been announced yet, but I got awarded the honourable mention from my Ice of Body challenge. I think it was my first challenge too, so I'm pretty stoked about that. So yeah, just I'll just keep training hard and keep pushing for higher honours later on. But yeah, I was pretty stoked to get that, and yeah, we've had a pretty good week. We've got a lot coming up. We're thinking about moving to Australia next year, so we've got lots happening, and yeah, we're just trying to keep on top of things and yeah, keep moving forward.
Always about moving forward.
Fantastic.
Always.
I'm getting an honourable mention. That's incredible.
Oh, we're so excited.
$500. Isagenix.
$500 for honourable mention. I was literally like, if you guys don't know all the sections of IsaBody Challenge that you can qualify for. Honorable mention is phenomenal. You'll see his post go up in the ANZ page, IsaBody ANZ. $500. How sick is that? Just so fantastic. And then still in the running for finalist by Celebration next year, where we'll all be there, Matt.
And I'm telling you, mate,
we'll all be there screaming for you.
They are watching you. We had dinner with Steve Foxwell a few weeks back, and yeah, they're watching you, mate. And
we dropped your name.
Yeah, we did drop your name. I said, yeah.
They were like, oh, we know Matt. We've seen him in that
you
page.
Keep doing your IsaBody challenges. You keep, you know, showing up.
Enrolling people, building your business.
It's just a matter of time.
It's all happening, buddy. Powerful.
And also for doing Landmark. Well done for going out your comfort zone and having the courage to do Landmark. And it's a different type of personal development, isn't it? It's not your typical personal development, is it? It's one that really digs inside into you, and you really look at your past and you look at how you've grown up and what it's made you, how your upbringing or how your experiences in your life have made you the person you are today, and it just allows you to
the amazing person you are
today. The amazing person you are today, and it allows you to put things into perspective and allows you to go, oh, this is why I do that, that's why I do this. And most people go through life having no idea about that. They go, oh, why am I like this, and it's all because of one experience you've had, and it's just become this block in your brain that you're like, yeah, that's that, you know. Whereas no one knows why, but Landmark teaches you to really peel it off, get the blank canvas and go, right, that is an experience. That's what made me who I am. But now I can paint a new canvas, and that experience doesn't have to make me who I am today. I can be anything I choose to. And that's so powerful, right? So powerful. So yeah, thanks Matt for sharing. And
you're going to share something else, Matt?
I'll just say that I went into it with no real expectation, or I didn't really know what it was, and I think that's really good because it was like leveled me straight away. You know, it was quite interesting. It was nothing like I'd read or seen or done before, and it was took me off my feet really. But we've enrolled in the advanced course too in December, so that'll hopefully take it to the next level.
It won't hopefully, it absolutely will. You've got no reason to hope when it comes to continuing your education. Yeah. So stoked for you and Nicole. So stoked. So stoked. Can't get my words out. Thumbs up, babe.
9:59.
Saw your thumb there.
Just in time.
Yeah. Well, we'll wrap this one up. But really the intention tonight was, and if you didn't get to share, if you want to, feel free to go live in the Ignite page and just share yourself, because it's our safe space for you to still be growing and learning. And we've got the Ignite Your Abundant Life page still going, because just like this Sunday night call, I feel so much value still comes from us connecting and collaborating. So yeah, if you didn't get to share and you really feel that what you've learned will be of service to other people, which I can pretty much guarantee you that it 100% will, because we're all going through the same journey, please jump on a live and share that in the page. If you feel compelled to share anything else, jump on a live in the page. But really, like, the intention of this call was for you to take full ownership. We spoke before about take off that employee mindset hat and wear your entrepreneurial cape or hat, whatever you want. Just really start to get creative. There doesn't have to be one way that you do this. There doesn't have to be one message that is right and one message that is wrong. There doesn't have to be one way of connecting with new people. You know, there is no one way of doing anything. And Steve was asking me a question about something before in Isagenix in the business. He was asking me something on the drive down, and I said, you know what, it's different for every person that I connect with. How quickly I bring up Isagenix, how quickly we connect, you know, whatever it is, it's always about. That's why personal development and growth becomes so important for us, because it's about us being able to mirror the person that we meet and almost move with them in a dance to connect, offer them what we have, and move forwards with the ones that want to move forwards with us. And literally just if you start to just really move with the people without the attachment, like Jules was sharing before, you won't need to be quizzing if your messages are right or wrong, or if your voice notes, or if your meeting was good or bad. You'll just be feeling the flow of the energy of what that person is needing in that moment. So trust yourselves, and please take ownership. Really take ownership. Just going to quickly check the chat. So there are a few more things in there. Yeah, you don't know what you'll get out of such sharing what you're sharing. Yeah, really, really connect with your people. Beautiful call. Thanks, everyone. Thanks for showing up on your long weekend, if it's a long weekend in your country. And what we would really love to see is more of you guys qualifying for our October incentive. It's the 21st of October today, and you've got until the very end of October to qualify for your ticket. For all you Kiwis, it's UIA, and even you Aussies. Nah, Kendra's Kiwi, we can't count her as an Aussie. And you Brits as well, you know, you can absolutely, I think that next event is with Brett and Sammy, which I know, Tom, you're already going to, but you can still qualify to win a ticket on you know, as a gift from us to take someone along, or even just pay you back for your ticket. Either way, guys, this is going till the end of October. Equally, don't miss buying your ticket. You know, don't let them run out, sell out, and not have your ticket. Because if you still win one, who can you bring? Who can you impact? Who needs to be there more than ever? So yeah, we'll wrap this up. But just step into this week, really, really owning everything you do have and everything you don't yet have in Isagenix. Just solely comes down to us individually. Let's go out there and really continue making an impact. Make those new connections, talk to people, share your story, share your gift, and bring people into this phenomenal community. Because when you look in the eyes of people that have met this community for the first time, they're really starting to see just how damn special this is. Just how damn special this is. Let's not forget that. All right. Huge love, everyone. Thank you so much for showing up. Mwah. Love you all. Bye.